Alright, what's up YouTube? Now we're going to do our actual main event YouTube video. This will probably be on 1 to 2 channels. And then there'll be no videos tomorrow. Well, actually, there will be some videos, but that'll be just to break down football. Well, actually, yeah, there won't be no videos tomorrow. I promise you that. There will be no videos tomorrow. Now, there will be a special episode this Saturday coming up. I'm going to take another special topic. We might talk about business, real estate again. Or we might talk about another subject on my other older channel here on YouTube. Because it seemed like some people like when we talked about business, real estate, and money, and Bitcoin. So we're probably going to find another interesting topic, something that we normally don't talk about here on this channel, and something that'll be very bright and very interesting. But this one is a very brand new episode for 2021. This is something that I wanted to talk about for the last 4.5 to 5 years. I never got a chance to talk about it. But it's for my passion for motorcycle riding. And there's only one motorcycle name that I like for the past 15 years that I've been on this earth. There is one other place that I like. And that is Harley Davidson's. Its name is synonymous with pop culture. It's been around for 3 to 4, maybe 5 decades. Probably longer than that. It's been in movies, television shows, comic books, graphic novels, anime movies. It's been in rock songs, rap songs. Anyone who's anyone in the entertainment industry in the world knows who Harley Davidson is. I'll make a future video called The History of Harley Davidson in the future. But this is what men live for. Women have drove Harley Davidsons. You've seen actors in television and film, professional athletes in sports that have played professional basketball, football, baseball, mixed martial artists, boxers, people who have money to burn have ride Harley Davidson motorcycles, from Sylvester Stallone to Arnold Schwarzenegger to Jean-Claude Van Damme to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to Michael Jordan. The names go on and on and on. People have wore clothes, merchandise. People have got tattoos, wear boots, leather jackets of Harley Davidson. I bring to you this brand new episode called Sex Game, the top 10 badass Harley Davidson motorcycles for women and for men. This video is gender neutral. This video is for women and men, young or old, black or white. This is for people who have a passion for motorcycle riding. Even if you don't have a passion for motorcycle riding, you can watch my videos. You are welcome. I do not discriminate. It doesn't matter if you're young or old, black or white. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. This video is gender neutral. If you're watching my channel for the first time, welcome to my channel. If you've been here for last 4 to 5 years, or if it's your first time, thank you for watching this video. I deeply appreciate it. This is a brand new episode. When I say I bring you fresh new content, this is fresh new content. And I will continue to do that. And I will put this on probably 2 channels and see what the attraction is. All right. Now, this is a video I've always been wanting to be making for a very long time. All right. Coming in at number 10 is the Twin Cool 17. This motorcycle was made in 2017. It's by far one of their best motorcycles to date. This motorcycle was originally ride in a lot of movies, a lot of television shows. And it's also a remake version to the ones that they made from 50, 55, 60 years ago. And it has a V8 engine. It's got anywhere from probably 100 to maybe 200 horsepower. I might be guessing on that. And this thing drives so fast that you need to be careful, because you might get 4 or 5 tickets. And its engine is loud. Like, it's so loud that it's hard for people not to take notice. And this thing drives so fast that this thing is good. The speed on this thing is probably maybe 120, maybe 130 miles per hour. I'm just guessing. It probably can go faster than that. This thing is fast. Just think about it when you saw the movie Ghost Rider with Johnny Blaze. It's kind of like that. And you'll have the feeling that you think you're Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider from Marvel Comics Ghost Rider. So this is a pretty good motorcycle bike. Its asking price is in the thousands of dollars. Like, you might have to save up maybe 10 paychecks. You might have to save up for about almost 2 years, almost 2 to 3 years just for you to acquire this type of motorcycle. Now, it's not the most expensive bike, but it is going to cost you some money. Like, yeah, you might have to dip into your life savings and your pension for this bike, because this is the type of motorcycle you get if you get a job promotion, or if it's your 45th birthday or your 50th birthday. This is the type of motorcycle you want to enjoy for your retirement. Or if you're a homeowner, or if you got real estate property and you want to enjoy yourself, this is the motorcycle I highly recommend. Coming in at number 9 is Ironhead. This motorcycle was made in 1954 to 1956. And you know what? It sounds like this is the type of motorcycle that Tony Stark, Iron Man, should be riding. Because look at the badass name it has. Ironhead. Some of the names of these motorcycles, and I'm not making this up, they sound like they could actually have their own heavy metal rock band because of the name of it. It actually got its name from the Wild Wild West. I'm just assuming. So you probably want to say it's probably a Wild Wild West type of motorcycle. V8 engine. Probably goes 120, maybe 130 miles, maybe 150 miles per hour. And the fact that it does actually have the lights and some part of the leather looks like it's iron. And the helmet that comes with it looks like it's iron, but it's a helmet. And this thing, back in the day, moved so fast that a lot of people used to get a lot of tickets. Back in the day, they used to repossess motorcycles like this because guys were driving faster than the speed limit. Guys would get their motorcycles taken. And back in the day, they used to make it where if you weren't driving on an empty road or on the desert, you were not allowed to drive this motorcycle. In fact, I remember when I was in high school, I heard stories of this motorcycle from a guy that all he does is collect motorcycle magazines of Harley Davidson. There was this one substitute teacher back in high school, my second or third junior year, and he told me that this type of motorcycle back in the day was considered bad because there would be a lot of accidents, and a lot of guys would wear this helmet that wasn't really considered a helmet. And I think that my mom's ex-fiance actually had a helmet to that motorcycle. He never got the motorcycle, but he got a helmet that was in tribute to this motorcycle. And he got stopped by the police like 4 or 5 times, and that was about 12 years ago, because they said that helmet wasn't safe and the motorcycle wasn't safe. And Harley Davidson had to change up this bike like maybe 3 or 4 times in a period because, like I said, you don't want to get too many tickets. Now, if you're not a part of a motorcycle club, if you do get this one, this is the one you would probably start off with. This is like one of those old school legendary bikes. Like, it's the type of motorcycle you probably would see if you saw the television show called Sons of Anarchy. So that, yeah, you might want to tune in for that show on DVD. But one of those seasons, you saw one of those old school bikes. I think one of the knocks was it was too low on the ground, and that's why it wasn't so safe. Coming in at number 8 is the VRSC V-Rod, and this was made in 2001. They created their own version of the Hot Rod. Now, there was already a Hot Rod car and a Hot Rod chopper motorcycle, but this was their Harley Davidson's version of it. And this thing can go almost 200 miles per hour. Like, this motorcycle can go faster than any car we can drive. And you got to have a license for this thing. You got to keep the gas. You got to keep it in good mid condition, because you might want to trade it up and get it in any color: blue, black, white, silver, gold. And this one right here might cost you a whole lot of cash. Like, you might be out of maybe $1,000 to maybe $10,000, maybe $15,000. You might have to get a loan to get this type of motorcycle, because The way this was made in design, it was like a cross between the original Harley Davidson, the very first one that was made, and that of a motor car. Like, its motor is raging loud. Like, you could be 5 blocks down the street. That's how powerful the sound of this bike is. And when they come down the street, taking off like the Undertaker. Remember the Undertaker in professional wrestling? He's a huge fan of Harley Davidsons. And he had a motorcycle similar to that one, where he would drive down the Titantron, and his motorcycle, he would move and make it cluck, and it would have that cluck sound where it was just loud. That's how you know you got the best bike. And you know you got the best bark in the block with that motorcycle. Coming in at number 7 is the Twin Cam from 1999 to 2017. This one is a pretty good motorcycle. I've seen this one around at Venice Beach, Manhattan Beach, sometimes in Culver City. That's where they get a lot of tickets because the police don't like that type of motorcycle because it attracts too much attention. Like, it really does, because black women, white women, Latina women, and Asian women, they see that type of motorcycle. Oh, chicks are going to be flocking to you. And then sometimes these guys might want to park somewhere, and then sometimes, because of the way you can park it, you make it hard for cars to park. And, you know, the motorcycle attracts a lot of attention. That's all I can tell you. You can get this. To me, blue's the best color that stands out. Blue, black. Red is a little bit too bright. And certain colors, it fits pretty well. I've even seen it in yellow orange. I don't know how you get it in that color, but it pulls off nicely. And it's the type of motorcycle that, if you're going to go to Pacific Coast Highway, this is the motorcycle I highly recommend. All right, number 6 is called the Evolution. And we actually have 2 or 3 famous rock bands that are called Evolution. And we have a Harley Davidson that just happened to be called Evolution. This was made in 1984 to 1999. Now, this is what I would call the rock star biker bike. If you're in a badass rock band, this is the type of motorcycle you probably would ride around town. Like, this is the type of motorcycle you would not just bring out during the day. It's a motorcycle you would bring out on a Saturday or a Sunday and show off. But be careful about showing off too much, because this also attracts a lot of women's attention. Women want to ride on the motorcycle with the hot guy. Kids want to ride a motorcycle. And guys find out you got this type of motorcycle, you know what's going to happen, right? You know, you got to be careful, because some rich, famous people back in the day have had this bike stolen. I had a high school teacher whose name I can't tell you. He somehow acquired him a Harley Davidson motorcycle. And he used to ride that around after school. I remember he would leave, go to his house, and 2-3 hours later, he would come back and show the class his motorcycle. And I was blown away that he was a high school teacher, and then he would come back with his motorcycle, and he would show us his motorcycle. And he did that to show us the V8 engine, the custom-made design, and he was a mechanic, and he basically fixes his own motorcycle, and he showed us pictures back when he was in college, how he would just drive in the middle of the desert. And he told me that's the best place for most motorcycles. And he told me he had a friend that had a bike like this, but it was in all black. Coming in at number 5 is the Shove Head in 1966 to 1984. This one is one of those motorcycles if you would see in those film noir movies. You could say gangster noir, but I like to say film noir movies. The ones where the bad guys always get away and constantly get away from people. This is the type of motorcycle you would probably see. And why is it kept closed? A lot of Hollywood actors, when they start doing movies based on true stories of film noir movies, they would be driving this type of old school bike. Like, you would kind of see this in black and white, and you could imagine those old cops and robber movies. That would be this type of motorcycle. Coming in at number 4 is the Pinhead, 1948 to 1965. Now, the vast majority of these were like between $1,000 to like $4,000. So these bikes were not as expensive as the ones that we have today. Now, Pinhead motorcycle was kind of low on the ground. And then as time went on, they have one that goes high off the ground, one low on the ground. And they had the one where you can look in your rearview mirror and you can park this thing anywhere. And this was kind of like considered the motorcycle of its time period. If you got this motorcycle, you was the man. So if you could afford this, you were the man. Coming in at number 3 is the Knucklehead 1948 to 1965. This one was also made around the same time. And the Knucklehead motorcycle was kind of like it was like the biker gang of that time period. We have motorcycle club gangs today, but this was like, if you could imagine Sons of Anarchy back then, like you can today, that's the type of motorcycle they would probably riding back then, opposed to today. Again, only cost $100,000, but still was affordable. It's a classic, and nothing beats the classic. Coming in at number 2 is the Flathead from 1930 to 1949. This was the second bike that they made that is to this very day. It's in movies, television shows, and it's by far the most expensive. Why? Because it's the original classic Harley Davidson. You go to a motorcycle option to try to buy at an auction, you probably might have to, I don't know, get a bank loan and try to buy it, because all the potential buyers that are super rich could probably buy 4 of these without blinking an eye twice. And it's so ahead of its time. Back in the day, this motorcycle people couldn't get enough of. Coming in for the number 1 is the F-Head called DJ, from made in 1922 to 1929, and strange and ironic, that is actually the same exact time we had the first market crash, aka the Great Depression. Yeah, go figure, the first ever motorcycle in Harley Davidson history was actually made during that time period. It is the first and the original of its kind. Same thing, it is by far the most expensive bike because it's the classic, it's the best. This one, you're lucky if you can find this in 4 or 5 other states. I know if you go to Denver, Phoenix, Los Angeles, and New York's a little tricky. I know if you go to Texas, you might actually find it a lot quicker in those areas than opposed to LA or New York. But Phoenix, Denver, Texas, maybe Montana, maybe South Dakota, you might actually find this motorcycle available. It's like the first ever original Harley Davidson bike. In fact, you can compare the first ever Harley Davidson motorcycle to, I think, the first issue of the comic book of Spider-Man and Superman. Like, it's on that competitive level. You're lucky if you can go to a theme park and find a replica model of this motorcycle. I mean, I think either Universal Studios, Orlando, or a theme park like it might actually have a replica of it. So these were the top 10 badass Harley Davidson motorcycle. Now, there's not 10 motorcycles. There are actually more than 10, but I didn't want to make the video too long. So until then, peace.